What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of the Red Drink. Today we got a few things in store for you. Some recent things been going on, but we're gonna start, with our normal intro going on here. What have we been up to? Blake, I know you wanted to open up with your PS4. You got a new PS4. How's that treating you?
Black Friday ruined me.
Did it just did it steal all your money?
Yeah, I decided to go and visit Seth at his store, and 1 terabyte PS4 for $200. I couldn't say no.
Yeah, because the terabyte one's
I'm
usually
sorry, I can't breathe. Buffalo sauce me right now.
The normal price for that PS4 is what, like $299, something like that. So you get $100 off, which is pretty damn good. Was it a bundle or was it just a PlayStation itself?
Well, I mean, it comes with a controller and all that stuff.
I didn't know if it came with like the game or anything. Like we had a few different.
I got Persona 5, which was one of the games that I wanted a PS4 for, and then I got Ratchet and Clank, the redo, like the new one. I got them for $60 combined between the two of them.
Hell actually, yeah!
That was after.
Yeah, because it was $20 on Black Friday, wasn't it?
That was after tax. It was like after taxes for a $200 PS4 and those two games. I paid like $260.
Right. So if y'all motherfuckers had never been to like Black Friday Best Buy, it's a little wild. But if you want $20 fucking games, it's the place to get them. Because like World War II, like the new Call of Duty, it just came out, was $20 on Black Friday, and it's pretty crazy.
And if you get lucky like me and walk up to a line right whenever a guy's opening a new cash register up, you only got 2 people in front of you.
Right, and then it don't take long.
Yeah, it takes about 5 minutes.
It wasn't that bad. I went in the Black Friday thinking it was going to be insane and kind of scary or whatever, but it wasn't that bad. But actually, before we go any further, I wanted to address the fact that we haven't done a podcast in 2 weeks.
We're lazy.
The first week was because of Thanksgiving. I mean, obviously, it was supposed to come out on a Thursday. Thursday was Thanksgiving. It was crazy, I was working and everything, so we really didn't get around to that. I had to work till 1 in the Thursday night, so I never got around to that. So that's why that didn't happen. As far as last week, it just kind of didn't. We just didn't get around to doing it, but we're back on track now, and it should be all good. Anyway, how do you say the game that we have on the list here?
Disgaea.
Disgaea?
Disgaea.
What the fuck is Disgaea?
It is a type of game that I used to really like, and then I kind of fell out of them, and it's one of the few that I like. Like top-down, like strategy games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, it's like Fire Emblem kind of games like that, except it's...
Never played Fire Emblem.
See, I'm playing both of them at the same time right now. But...
I'm going to try to find maybe a GIF or something of that and, like, put it...
God,
in the video or whatever.
It irks me how you say that. But,
fuck you.
Yeah, so I got the new Fire Emblem on my 3DS, and, like, it kind of made me start liking games like that a little bit more again. And then, I think it was the Black Friday deals on Steam. They had Disgaea and Disgaea 2 both. They had both of them on sale for, like, $7 a piece. And it's the remastered PC version, of course. And, one of them was cheaper than the other. I think the second one might have been like $7 and the first one was like $4. But I had never played them, and I had heard a lot about them. I'd heard how they were like one of the best games of that type. And I was like, you know what, I'll buy the first one and give it a shot. And now I've dumped like 60 hours into it in the span of like a week because I have no life. And, yeah, it lives up to the hype. It's super old, but I mean, yeah, it holds up pretty well. It's just a top-down, like, bare bones, super grindy game. It's pretty hard, to be honest with you. And if you, like, part of it is actually supposed to be, like, based on dying. Because, like, when you die, you don't get to restart unless you just quit the game and load from a save. If you die, it makes you restart from the beginning, but you still get, like, a whole lot. Oh,
so it's one of those games.
Yeah, you still get, like, a whole lot of your stuff. And, like, yeah, I think that you're actually like supposed to die, but
right, there's a lot of games that's a basic like
that's part of the grind behind
it.
Right,
that's part of the grind behind it. Is kind of you're expected to die.
With mine so far, I have made sure that I just didn't, and that might come back to bite me. I'm not sure. I don't know. Like I said, I heard that it was hard, and so far it has been pretty hard, but I've just been grinding like crazy. I'll go to like one level after I beat it, and then I'll beat it like 12 times and just over level my characters like crazy.
Right.
I played Final Fantasy. I'm used to this thing. I played the old turn-based Final Fantasies. I'm used to this.
They were hard. You died probably 50 times per battle.
If you played the old Final Fantasy games just as quick as you possibly could, there was always a point in the game where all of a sudden the difficulty just got way harder, and like you would just have to go back. And one game, I can't remember which one it was, I got stuck at a spot where you couldn't go back, but all of a sudden the game got so hard I just couldn't do anything.
Right.
So take a guess what I did. I said I'm not playing this game all the way over again, and I never played it again.
Of course. I've had places like that. Metro was one of those games that kind of did that to me. God, Metro is so fucking good, but god damn it, it's the hardest game I've ever played in my life.
I hate even watching somebody play it.
Fuck, it's so hard to play. And,
I had to watch Aaron play it. I watched him speed run both of them pretty much.
Yeah, you can. You can speed run them like... I mean, I know what you mean by speed run. By speed run, you mean just don't stop and look around.
Yeah, he sat down and just played until it was over.
Yeah, you can do that, but that game was probably one of the hardest games I've ever played in my life, next to like the other Metro games.
So there's another thing that we need to talk about, but we need to actually save what it is for later. But we all found the first, like, for me, it's the first software thing that Steam has that I've actually downloaded.
Are you talking about the wallpaper engine?
Yes, I've never used anything that's like a software thing on Steam.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna leave a link to it. Like it, if you are kind of skeptical about it, it works.
Well, we're gonna talk about it more in a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's the next thing on the list.
No, it's
so I mean, we can. Yeah, it is. What else you got on the list? This Gaia wallpaper engine?
Read further.
I don't understand. I'm reading all the way down the list.
We just mentioned it now.
One.
We mention it now, and then we tell about it later.
Oh, you're doing new shit. Okay. Why do you gotta be so complicated?
Because it's what we've been doing.
I guess. Okay.
But it is kind of a new thing, so.
It is kind of a new thing. Also, we've got some, we got a little bit of a home brew going on, calling it the Chop Shop Brew. It's not really a brew, it's more of a fucking water and honey. Making some fucking jailhouse wine up in this bitch.
And
not really.
It's starting to get to where it's not too bad.
Well, it's called mead, and for anybody who has more questions about that or wants to see any more of that, I'm going to post a video here soon. It's going to be pretty much the whole process of us, going out and doing it and everything. It's not going to be a particularly long video, I don't think, but it is going to kind of cover, what the process of doing it is, and maybe explain a little more than it is. But basically what it is, it's almost a wine, pretty much. It's a wine that you make with honey and water instead of like grapes.
It's wine with honey instead of grapes.
Right, and see that's the big difference, and it's called mead. It's a really old style of just making fucking alcohol. It's super simple. All you take is water, honey.
It's hard to screw up.
And you take water and honey and you ferment it. That's literally it. And then you can drink it, and bam, alcohol. So we got some of that, and we done some raspberry this time. Last time we done the one we just took out and bottled. We had dragon fruit and star fruit.
They tasted like water.
Yeah, and it kind of did. It tasted like water, mainly because I think we're not adding enough fruit.
Well, that and those fruit also kind of tasted like water. Like,
yeah,
they just don't have a taste to them.
I mean, I don't feel like we added enough fruit, and we didn't add enough honey. So,
and this new one we sure did.
Yeah, we added about a half pound, right? A pound almost more honey, and we added a ton more berries in it.
We easily like quadrupled the amount of berries we put. So
yeah, so we're hopefully gonna have a good little bit of flavor in this next one.
I'm thinking about putting them back in it for secondary too.
Right.
Extra flavor. Some people say they do that. I've thought about doing it
why
just
not?
so we can get as much flavor as possible. Speaking
Yeah.
of which, I have not tried that raspberry beer we bought yet.
Which one?
The one that we bought whenever we went to the store. The only one that I bought.
Oh yeah, okay. I drank some of that blackberry pear last night. If you motherfuckers ever find something called Crispin Blackberry Pear, it's a hard cider. It is absolutely delicious, and it's probably one of my favorite things I've ever drank in my life.
I want
It's
that sour
delicious.
beer that they had.
Yeah, that sour beer. Oh my god, dude! Listen, it's like what? It's $12 for 4 of them, something like that.
Yeah,
But damn,
it's
good.
way too overpriced.
It's way too overpriced, but holy shit, it's so good.
If you ain't a broke boy like us, you can probably drink it.
Yeah, you probably could. You probably could. But yeah. So that's pretty much kind of catching up with what we've been up to. Like I said, just keep an eye out for that mead video. It's definitely gonna be next. It's gonna be very soon. So I just realized that the wallpaper on my screen is all kind of fucked up. I gotta fix that.
I have one that does that. I have one that just doesn't fit my screen. I'm not sure why, because I got it set
Well,
to
I
stretch
mean,
it.
I've got the Fraps doesn't like the wallpaper engine thing.
Oh.
So I had to turn it off for when I was trying to record something with Fraps. So it's back on my regular screen, but my regular screen's all fucked up. But anyway, so what was the next thing you wanted to go into? Did you want to jump into the wallpaper engine now?
First off, I just want to make this quick announcement before we go into anything.
All right.
I'm ready to have my Nintendo Switch. I have to wait like 2 more weeks.
Yeah, and I thought it was really funny that I bought you a game so you could stare at the game
I
and
know,
play it.
it's sitting at the end of my bed, and I'm staring at the new Zelda game every day.
And just can't play it. I thought it'd be fun. I could have saved it for Christmas, or could have gave it to your mom for, to put it under the tree or whatever. But I thought it'd be a lot funnier if I just gave it to you and made you look at it.
It's awful.
You're welcome.
It makes me sad.
Couldn't have got you nothing, motherfucker.
Oh.
I want to play it whenever you get it. I really want to try out the Odyssey. Supposedly, according to every single person that played it, especially Nerd Cubed, and I haven't seen anything from Total Biscuit, but I know Nerd Cubed said it was probably the best game he's ever played, and he was talking about how it was the Nintendo Switch itself was so good. He first didn't like it. He said, I don't like it, the controllers are flimsy and stuff, but whenever you hear Nerd Cube go, you know what, I was completely wrong about this, that's the only time you're going to hear it for at least another year. Because he doesn't admit he's wrong even when he is, and that's a lot, but he doesn't care. But he said he was wrong about the Switch, so I mean, he said it was really good, and Mario Odyssey is probably one of the best games he ever played.
The only thing that I've seen that's like actually bad is the fact that the stupid little case thing you put it in, like to turn it into a console.
Yeah.
They say that it can scratch the screen.
Yeah.
And that's stupid considering it's what you put it in, but that's just buy a screen protector and it'll be okay.
Right, and the big thing Nerd Cube said was so cool about it is the fact that you can lay in your bed and play like AAA titles like Skyrim and stuff like that. Like he said it felt weird to lay in the bed or like in there on your couch or something and play a full-fledged console game, but on a little handheld thing, and it's I think that's a really cool concept to it. Like, I don't think you're ever going to actually put it into the console.
Nah, I probably will. I'm probably just going to leave it hooked up to the TV all the time.
Well, you're lame.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kinda. But I'm too lazy to go and take it out of its case.
Of course you are. Of course you are. So, I kind of want to save the angriness for last. So we're just going to talk about the wallpaper engine.
Okay.
That's what we're calling this one, by the way. This is going to be the Angry Podcast, and
this is the Angry Dave.
The angst. So
Angry angst.
We're gonna talk about some stuff later, and you'll understand why it's gonna be a feud for me anyway. Because I don't know if I'm a nerd, but I'm kind of pissed. Anyway, the wallpaper engine. Basically, what the wallpaper engine is, and I'll probably throw a video into the video. We're gonna do Matrix shit. We're gonna have a video in the video that's gonna kind of show off
Inception.
Yeah, and we're gonna have like an issue where we can't get back out of the internet. But anyway, we're going to put that on there, and I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like. But basically what it is, it's a wallpaper engine that you run in the background. You don't have to really worry about it slowing down your computer or anything. It doesn't use a ton of, CPU or anything like that. It uses supposedly about as much as Chrome, right? Is that what we looked up?
Yeah, now I do have one thing to say though.
What?
If you have a older graphics card like a 750 Ti, who has those anymore? But if you have like a 750 Ti and you have a wallpaper engine running and you try to play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which I have something to say about PUBG in a little bit. But if you try to play PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, it will not like you very much. I tried to play PUBG with Wallpaper Engine on the other day, and that was the only game that I've played so far that it changed it at all, but it made it to where I just couldn't play the game.
Yeah, but PUBG's also not the best optimized game in the entire world.
Yeah, and
by not the best optimized, I mean the potatoes are more optimized.
Yeah, and I need a new graphics card, so...
But yeah, the wallpaper engine, it works. Like, it's fairly simple to use. There's a couple little glitches about it, like it says it's downloading something when it's not. I mean, it doesn't use internet or anything. It literally just says it is.
There's way too much hentai.
And there's way too much hentai. And other than that, it's really cool. Like I said, I'm just going to throw a video in, and you can look at it and see it. But it's really cool. It's a cool concept. It's fun to have running in the background. It just adds a little bit of life to your desktop. So I recommend it. It's what, $3, $4, $3.99, something like that.
Like $4, and I now have a majestic wolf that's in the snow on one screen, and I have a like wolf in outer space that looks. He's got like some Japanese writing on his head, and he's got like an eyeball floating next to him. It's all crazy looking.
So, before I forget to ask you that, Disgaea, do you have fraps on your computer?
Yes, I do.
Or anything? I was going to see if you can record it and send a little bit of gameplay to me.
I should be able to, okay.
If not, I could probably find something. But anyway,
recording's bad, okay.
So, speaking of PUBG,
yep.
When are they supposed to release the desert map? What is it supposed to consist of? And let's talk about what looks like a 30-06
lever action rifle
coming into the game.
Yep.
So that's going to be pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's a Winchester lever action rifle, and considering it's PUBG, I figure they're going to make it shoot a 7.62 round. Because I mean,
probably,
it's close. It's close to the actual bullet. At least it's closer than
Well, I mean, and they might make it. They might make it shoot 30-06 since it's going to be just a desert map exclusive, and maybe they don't have to worry about as much. They can just make it to where 30-06 spawns on the desert map. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so they don't have to redo a whole thing.
They said that it's going to be exclusive to the desert map, which...
It'll probably shoot a 308.
Well, see, it's got me thinking, like, what if, like, a lot of the guns that are in the game now stay exclusive to the first map, and then, like, the desert map comes out, and there's not a ton of guns in it, and they start adding more guns to that map then?
That would be really cool.
Yeah, and they make it where the game just changes depending on what map you're on.
Right, that would be really fucking cool.
Well, and another thing that I wonder is how this lever action rifle is going to work, because
boom, chick, fuck, he killed me. That's how it's going to work.
Well, yeah, because I don't much see being able to mount a scope on that thing.
Why not?
Like in the context,
wouldn't let you.
Yeah, in the context of the game, they've been pretty realistic about like what can go on what gun. And lever action big old over under rifle, I don't much see a scope being put on.
I mean, you're right. I mean,
that starts giving me like the how exactly is this gun gonna work? Like, is this thing just like a almost one shot kill if you can hit somebody with it?
That would be dope.
Yeah, it's like, oh well, if you can aim good enough to hit somebody, nice shot, dude.
Right.
Because there's so many guns that are like actual sniper rifles and stuff. That's the one thing that gets me about that game is at the end of the day, if you have a rifle that shoots good and you can put a scope on it, really, I would rather use like an M16 with a scope than use like one of the snipers, because you can shoot fast as long as you're good at recoil management. You can hit the exact same spot 3 times in a row, and you don't have to worry about stuff like, oh, I missed one shot. I could die because it takes 5 seconds to get the next shell ready, like with the Car 98.
Right, and it's all about how fast you can get your sights back on target.
Yeah, it's all about how good recoil management you have.
Right. And I don't know. The desert map's going to be really cool when they talk there.
And
There's
they
rumors
said
of
there's
a
gonna be-
snowing.
Well, they said that there's going to be a truck in the desert map, and I kind of hope that that means they make a vehicle that can actually go up hills faster than 2 miles an hour.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I
because
would appreciate that.
the UAZ is awful.
And they were talking about the damn the console stuff too. So
Yeah.
I believe that was the end of next year, or were they gonna release it beta on console?
I don't know exactly. I know they were planning on the end of this year completely
That's what I was
replacing it on
thinking. But
console.
now they're saying that it's not gonna come out of beta until next year. So how do you release something on console like that without it being
the same way? Because I mean, Ark's been on console for and God knows how long, way
but
too
fucking
long.
Ark's
Because
broken.
that game sucks.
I don't know. We'll see
Well,
how it goes.
Ark's broken on the computer too. It's the people that made it are just stupid.
They just want to make some money, and they make plenty of
they made way too big of a game, and they don't know how to optimize it.
it. Right? They try to put too much into a video game.
Yep, they tried to make a whole new world.
Exactly. So speaking of releasing, what can you tell us about Pit People? I've heard a lot of things, but what do you have to put in on it?
Pit People is one of my favorite games that has entered early access in the past year. Slime Rancher is pretty much done as far as like coming out now, and I have yet to play it now that some of the new stuff's been added in, but I need to do that because Slime Rancher is probably my favorite early access game of all time. And right behind it's Pit People. Like, I watched a video of, I believe it was Total Biscuit, but he played it one day, and it was just so funny looking. It's like, it's honestly kind of like this guy and like Fire Emblem. It's like turn-based, like you move units around and stuff, and you got pretty much like your little army, even though it's like 5 people. And there's a whole bunch of different people you can use. Like, you got these big old God, I can't remember what they're called, but it's these big old things with claws, and then you got like regular people, stuff like that. Like, it's crazy. There's a ton of units you can use. There's all kinds of funny hats and like cosmetic stuff you can put on them, just make them look stupid. Like, most of them, like, getting more powerful is just from them leveling up most of the time. Like, if you put a different weapon or something, some of them have different effects, but most of them, all it is a skin. All it is like, oh, well, like, you beating this guy with a candy cane instead of an axe.
Right, so it's pretty
Like,
balanced.
Yeah, and, like, the story so far, what they're doing is the game has pretty much always been finished, but the story, not much of the story was released.
Right,
and,
so they're extending it.
yeah, so, like, there's all these, like, bonus missions and stuff that you get, like, every day, but, like, the big main story missions, you could beat what was there of the story in, like, an hour and a half. I mean, there wasn't much there, but, like, it's just super, like, creative, funny story about, like, I mean, it's kind of just random, because it's just the type of game it is, but it's, like, I can't remember the main character's name anymore, but, like, the main character and his kid, and I think it's, like, wife or something too. I can't remember. I need to replay it. But it's like you and your kid or something like that are at home, and magically this God, I can't remember what the bad guy is anymore. Yeah. I feel wait a minute. You you talk for a second, because I gotta look it up and remember what this guy is, because I'm gonna be mad if I can't remember.
What guy are you trying to find?
Trying to find the bad guy on Pit People, because I forget what he is
some
now.
loser on Pit People.
Yeah, he's good. It makes me angry. It makes me really angry, because it like the whole thing is just so funny, dude. And I can't even. Yeah, there's like a big bear that's floating around the planet, and like he's like evil, and
He just wants his honey, man. Like he's just trying to eat some motherfucking honey, and
he
y'all
just
keep
messes
stealing that
with you.
shit.
Like after you do so many missions, like you'll walk out of town and all of a sudden you'll see his hand just pop out of the sky and he'll pick you up and go, no, no, or he'll pick the whole city up and he'll be like getting used to it or something, and then he'll like move the city somewhere else on the map. And like there's a fog of war, so if you've never been there before, like you don't know what's around you. You don't know how to get back where you came from.
The fog of war concept in games is always kind of fucked with me.
Yeah, and like this bear, for some reason, I can't remember. Like I said, I can't remember much story. It's been a while. I was gonna wait until they completely release the game, and then I'm gonna like just completely restart and play it from the beginning again. But this bear, like I can't remember who voices him, but
Elijah Wood.
is it Elijah Wood?
I don't know,
It's
but I think it should be.
it's a very like lowbrow humor type of game. Like it's so funny, dude. And the only way I can think to describe it is if you're okay with like turn-based type games, you need to play it because it's super funny. And the story is random. Like it's so random that, like I said, I just can't even remember most of it anymore. But it's a super creative story, and it's pretty great. Like I remember that he like kidnaps your kid. The big bear does. So then you like go after him or whatever, and like you end up meeting like two characters that are actual story characters, and then after them, like the way that you like expand the people that are with you is when you get to the end of a fight, you leave the one person that you like want to recruit, and when they're the last one left, you can have a party member who has a net, and you throw a net at them and it puts them in a cage, and you just like take them home, and then all of a sudden they're your friend.
That's good. You can make
Yeah,
good
like
friends. Just
yeah.
carry nets around with you.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I killed all your friends. I'm gonna trap you in this cage. You work for me now.
You ever seen a really hot girl? Throw a net on her. Trap her in a cage.
That's how it works. You
don't do that.
You just tie her up, take her home, and say you're mine now.
don't do that. That's what that's where the phrase clubbing came from. Back in the day, with the caveman and stuff. They used to knock them the fuck out and just drag them home. That's where I'm going out clubbing tonight. And be like, hell yeah. Clubbing used to be different. It's a fun fact, guys. Don't believe me. I don't know if that's true. I saw it on a movie.
pretty much, all in all, Pit People's hilarious, and it's amazing, and it's so worth however much money they're asking for it now. It's mainly just hilarious. Like, small things will happen, and you'll just die laughing.
Right. Well...
and it's made by the people that made Castle Crashers and Battle Block Theater. If that tells you anything.
Battle Block Theater is very good. It's got the same art style too,
and it's got a super dark sense of humor.
Right, but like me, many others, possibly people who are listening to this podcast, maybe even Blake, who knows? We've realized that on any Amazon product, like the Amazon tablet, the Fire Stick, anything like that, just Amazon in general, their products that they make as far as media and stuff go. When you open up the YouTube app, it says that YouTube is no longer going to be supported. And basically, the reason behind this is because Amazon and Google being the owner of YouTube, has gotten this feud. And the reason the feud happened was because on the Amazon, the Echo, I guess it was the Echo or whatever it was, the Echo Show, I can't remember. It's something to do with it's got like a video player or something on it. Anyway, the Echo Show has an app for YouTube on it. And basically, it sucked. It didn't work. When you tried to play YouTube and stuff on it, it would freeze, it would mess up, blah, blah, blah. Well, basically, Google was like, hey, you need to fix this, or we're going to have a problem, because you're making YouTube look bad. You're making YouTube as an app, as a website, look bad, because people are trying to access it on these different Amazon products, and it's fucking up. You know what I mean? So everybody's thinking, oh, damn, YouTube really went downhill. They suck. So Google and Amazon got into this big feud about it. And I'm not sure what escalated. It said Google explained that the Echo Show's implementation of YouTube lacked integral. I guess that's how you say it. No, it's integral. Shut the fuck up. Integral features and created a broken experience for users. So basically, your YouTube app's up, fix it, or we're gonna do something about it. Well, Amazon basically come back with a big fuck you, sort of, and Google went, you know what? Then we're gonna pull YouTube off of all your shit. This happened sometime last September. It happened, and it's the same time that Google took the YouTube app off of like my grandma's computer or grandma's TV, Blake.
Yeah.
You know how you can't play YouTube on it? It's the same. It's the same thing that happened back then. And basically, the app is broken. Google says something about it. They go, well, we're not fixing it. So Google says, fuck you, and takes it away. So January 1st, 2018, for all Amazon products, YouTube will not be available anymore. That's including Fire TV, the Fire Sticks, the the tablets, the Echoes, everything. It's just gonna be gone, and it kind of sucks because that's the main thing that I use to watch YouTube. And I know that Flores watches them every night. They went and bought Fire Sticks just for that reason. So that really sucks. It's gonna impact us the most. The thing is, it's not exactly set in stone. And again, it's not the biggest deal. You still got Chromecast out there that you can use. 90% of smart TVs come with it. You can get an app to open it up and use it, and they're all there. You can still use those. But yeah, so basically that's the situation with that. On top of that, speaking of people taking stuff away from us, this is what I was talking about, our angry podcast. We're gonna get a little angry in this bitch.
I'm pretty much gonna step away and let Seth up on his soapbox for this one, because it's gonna be a long one, boys.
It's not gonna be a long one. I'm not gonna.
Well, it's gonna be an angry one, boys.
I don't even think it's gonna be angry. I've already gotten my damn everything out about it. But anyway, Ajit Pai. He's the chairman of the FCC. And basically what's happening, if anybody wants to know, he's trying to repeal the 2015 Obama administration Net Neutrality Act. So basically what net neutrality is it gives you the right to free internet, just open internet. So you pay your service provider to give you internet and you use it. That's it. If you want to watch YouTube, you watch YouTube. Want to get on Facebook, you get on Facebook. Twitter, you can get on Twitter. It's all simple. Well, basically what it keeps people from doing is throttling your internet on certain websites. So if net neutrality wasn't there, to explain it in the most simple form, say Verizon owns Yahoo. So if, say, Verizon is your internet service provider, Verizon can force you to use Yahoo as a search engine. But if you pay $5 extra, they'll let you use Google. And if you go on Google, it will either be blocked or your internet will just be super slow. And they could do the same thing with like YouTube. If, say, pretend Netflix was a service provider as far as internet goes, Netflix could force you to watch videos on their app. And if you want to use YouTube, you're going to have to pay an extra fee. And basically, net neutrality has kept you from having to pay extra on that. And I think that is the total most bullshit of all time. Because, I mean, I know it wasn't around, and we fought this before. Ever since 2015, every year, there's been kind of a fight to keep it. The big thing is they're talking about it's a free market. So they're saying it's going to be like, well, Walmart can exist because Kmart and Target exist. You know, if you don't want to go to Walmart because their cost is too much, you can go to Target and spend a little less money. Or if Target costs too much, you can go to Walmart, spend a little less money. And that works because most people have a Target somewhere. Most people have a Walmart. Most people have a Kmart. Anything like that. You can choose. But when it comes down to internet and you've got people like me or even Blake that only have a choice of one internet provider. We have AT&T. So AT&T is pretty much all we can get if we want anything other than DSL or satellite. First of all, satellite is absolutely terrible. But if AT&T would say, hey, you can't use YouTube unless you give us $10 more a month, we can't just be like, oh, well, go fuck yourself, we're switching to Comcast. We can't do that. We can't get Comcast. You know, and on paper, it works. On paper, the free market is a very good thing. It would keep prices down.
But nothing works the way it is on paper.
Right, and nothing's going to work the way it is on paper. If I could get every single internet provider that I possibly could want, sure, it would work that way. Because the first person, I guarantee it, if net neutrality would pass, pretend everyone in the world could have any service provider as far as internet goes. Just wherever they live, it doesn't matter, they can have all of them. So pretend every person in the world has got AT&T. I guarantee that if AT&T would say, you got to pay an extra $5 to go on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all that, is going to be extra $5. But you got people like Comcast, which everyone in the world can also use, that's not charging $5 extra for that. Guess what's going to happen? Everyone's going to leave AT&T and go to Comcast. Therefore, AT&T will go, well, maybe it's a bad fucking idea to charge more money to be able to go to this website. So they'll quit doing that. And then people will go back to AT&T. That would work. On paper, it is flawless. It will be beautiful. But that's not the case. And it's not going to work. What's going to happen is it's just going to impact a lot of people.
And it's going to become a legal monopoly.
And it's going to be another legal monopoly. It's going to be a legal monopoly like it already fucking is. You know, you either have internet or you don't. And people like me and Blake, it's either we pay for it or just don't have it. And that's just the worst part. It's not that I'm angry, you know, about the fact that he's doing it or the fact that they're just going to make more money or whatever. It's just fucking us. And it makes me so mad that people write to a Jeep Pie and be like, listen, we don't want this. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people have, you know, told him we don't want this. And he's like, well, I'm doing it anyway. That's not what the fuck he's there for. He's not there to just make choices on his own. He's there to work for us. We pay taxes. We pay him to do his job, to work for the people like the government's supposed to. And it just doesn't.
All I know is I don't think this motherfucker knows how far the internet can go. Because if it actually happens, I got a bad feeling about it.
I have a bad feeling about it. I'm not saying that I'm going to do anything. I'm not saying that I know anybody that's going to do something. But I feel like there are people out there that really want his head on a fucking stick. Yeah. Like, seriously, I really do.
It's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't affect us as much because our livelihood so far doesn't come from the internet. But please pay us to do what we're doing. But, yeah, people who their livelihood is the internet, and all of a sudden that ruins their livelihood. That's how you cause crazy people.
I'll tell you this, actually.
And then there's people out there like Anonymous, where, you know, something could just happen and no one ever figure out about it.
Right. But I'll tell you, I've seen it directly affect someone before, and it's weird because I saw it particularly last night. Excuse me, the signs are all fucked up. But particularly last night, there was this guy I was watching on YouTube, and he is a YouTuber, but he also streams occasionally. And basically, what happened is one night, he was streaming on Twitch, and everything was doing good. You know, he was doing like an 8-hour stream, something like that, you know, a normal stream. Well, he gets about halfway through his stream, and his internet provider just decided to completely throttle his upload speed. They just decided to. Why not? Make them pay extra so that they won't throttle it after a certain amount. And that's basically what happened. He lives in Canada, I think, something like that, you know, where they don't have it to begin with. But in Canada, internet service providers aren't complete cunts. So you don't really have to worry about it as much, I guess. Or he wasn't in the United States is the point I'm trying to make. But basically he was like, yeah, I went to stream earlier today, but you know, my ISP decided it wanted to throttle my internet connection and ruin my upload speed, so I guess that free internet's working in it. And I was like, Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. That's what it's gonna be like. And those people and there's nothing you can do about that. Like the fact that you're not gonna be able to pay extra money for more upload speed to use Twitch and to be able to stream if you're a big streamer, because they're just gonna take it away. It's not like you can buy more internet and then they take less away. If you buy 100 megabit per second, if they feel like throttling it to 2 until you give them $10 extra, they're fucking going to. And it's just kind of depressing, really. And I don't understand why it had to come to, that. And it's not like we had it before, but in 2014 and 2013 and everything like that, before this was a thing, Twitch wasn't really that big. It was there, but the internet has come so far in just the last 3 years that it's just, so there's so many people living on it. It's such a big part in our life that if it just went away, I'm pretty sure the world would implode. But it's just he's wanting to throttle it because it's kind of like gas. Everybody needs gas. If someone would decide that the national price of gas is going to be $9 a gallon, guess what? He would sell gas for $9 a fucking gallon because you gotta have it. And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna make you pay for it because they know you will. But
see, that's like movie theaters. The reason why I hardly ever go to a movie theater is because all it is a legal monopoly. On paper, it's, oh well, you can see this movie somewhere else, but until it comes out on DVD, your only options are a bunch of movie theaters that are all charging $12 to see it, and then $20 for a bag of popcorn that costed 20 cents to get. And unless it's something that I super just really think it's worth paying that much money to go watch, that's why I normally don't go.
Well, see, but that's different.
Well, see, that's what I'm getting at, though.
You're paying for the experience.
Yeah,
you're not paying for just something that you use on an everyday basis. You don't have to fucking go to the movies.
That's why I'm okay with the fact that that's a thing. It's kind of shitty, but it's
definitely shitty.
It's like, okay, if you want to see this, 4 months before it comes out, you can see it, and it's a different experience. It's this big theater, and it's a whole different feel than sitting in your room watching it. Right. So it's like okay, I get that. I can get this in 2 different forms. This form just costs more. But then you do something like net neutrality, and it's I only have one form of this to get, and right. you're gonna tell me that you can just determine how much and whether I get it or not.
Don't matter how much you pay, just because you can.
Yeah, just because you feel like it.
Just because you fucking can. That's why they're gonna do it. They're gonna make you pay more just because they fucking can.
If there was another out, with movie theaters, on paper, a movie theater honestly looks stupid because you pay way too much for what you're doing. But it's okay, if you want to pay that much, just wait until it comes out on DVD, buy it for $10, right. You got it forever, and you can watch it in the comfort of your house. But with this, it's your only option's the movie theater.
Right. Well, getting off the soapbox, that's all I really wanted to say about that. It's kind of, been on my mind for the past little while. If anybody's wanting to know when the actual voting of it happens, it's on the 14th. So they're going to come together. I'm going to leave a link in the description. It's a battle for the net. Basically what you do is you go on there and you can call whoever the hell is your representative, and leave them a voicemail. It even has ways you can email them, fax them, stuff like that. Just let them know, I don't want this, and that's really something that you can do. That's really we have a say in it, and I can't stress enough because I called them, and I've actually sent an email and stuff too. So, I mean, I've tried to do at least a little bit of my part because they've obviously forgotten that they represent us, not whoever the fuck they think they represent. Because
if they pass this through, then democracy has failed us, and I'm moving to New Zealand.
I mean, it is true. If it passes through, democracy has failed in that aspect. It doesn't fail in all aspects, but in that aspect, it has. I know it's not the big deal of net neutrality going away. That's not what I'm concerned about. in reality, I'll pay more money for internet. I will. But it's the point that nobody wants it, and they don't give a shit that nobody wants it. That's what makes me mad. But anyway, moving on. I know you want to talk about Ratchet and Clank.
What's worse, before we get off that,
okay,
is I have seen something where Comcast said that they didn't want it to happen.
Yeah, and then whenever it looked like it was going to go through, they took that tweet down.
Yeah, Comcast is currently being sued by streamers for throttling their internet illegally, and yet Comcast themselves said that they don't like the idea.
Yeah, because they're stupid.
Yeah,
AT&T also said it, but now they've also said, I'm all for it, go for it. Anyway, you want to talk about Ratchet and Clank, which, by the way, I'm going to get a Ratchet and Clank tattoo for my next tattoo. I'm just letting you know that.
I'm telling you need to get the one that's like Ratchet's half face on one side and Clank's
That's what I'm
going to
do. Yep. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
And then other arm, you need to get the same tattoo, but with Jack and Daxter. But
that would be dope.
Yeah, it would. But, so, yeah, Ratchet and Clank, it's kind of old, so this is some old shit for us. But, so I got PS4, and like I said, I got Persona 5 and Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank is much older than Persona 5. Well, actually, it's not that much older, but still, it's older. And I decided that since I could beat Ratchet and Clank much quicker, I was going to play it, because Persona 5 I'll probably spend like 200 hours of my life on, because that's the type of game it is. And it's great, man. It just reminds me, like, it's kind of a reboot of the original game, but it's also just 100% the movie, and I've watched the movie. And the funny thing about it is, at the beginning of the movie, there's a scene where Captain Quark is in prison, and they haul this guy in his, like, prison room, and he starts talking to him. And the whole game is supposed to be like Captain Quark, the story of what happened. And when this guy gets in the room, in the movie, like, somehow or another, the guy says something. He's like, yeah, I just ordered the Ratchet and Clank movie. And Captain Quark's like, what? He's like, yeah, you know, the movie with Ratchet and Clank, and it's got you in it, and all this. And then that, like, segues into the movie happening. Well, then in the game, the same thing happens, and the guy walks in and he goes, yeah, I got the Ratchet and Clank game. And Captain Quark's like, what? And he's like, yeah, you know, the game that's based off the movie, that's based off the old video games. Like, it's the same thing, but they changed it because one's the game, one's the movie. Like, it's
right.
There's little clever things like that in it. And, like, it's just like all the old Ratchet games. Like, they pay homage to older Ratchet and Clank games, and you see people that were in, like, the plumber. I'm sure anyone who played Ratchet and Clank remembers the plumber. Like, he is in this one, and at the first time you meet him, he, like, looks at you, he's like, do I recognize you guys? And Ratchet's like, I don't think so. I've never met you before. And he's like, oh, well, must just be my memory going bad or something like that. He's like, well, I'll see you guys. And, like, just the fact that he even said, he's like, do I recognize y'all? Like, I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God.
It's just, like, one of those things, they just slip it in there for an Easter egg.
Yeah, it's like people that never played the old games would never get it. And they just be like, who's this guy? But then everyone else is like, it's the plumber whose butt crack was always out.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be good as long as they execute it correctly.
It's literally Ratchet and Clank the same way Ratchet and Clank's always been made. The same clever little things. You got a little hoverboarding mini game in it, and you got a couple little mini games you can do, and you can get the Rhino like always, the super badass gun. If you like Ratchet and Clank, you'll like it, and it's so fun. It's one of the few games that the company, some people are like, oh, they're just milking it for money. But no, for a while Assassin's Creed was doing that. For a while Assassin's Creed was just completely milking.
They were definitely milking for money for a while there.
I still want to try the new one because I've still heard good things about it. But for a while, people, I mean, the people who make Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft and whatever, they were just completely milking that series for everything they could get out of it. But Ratchet and Clank, everyone that comes out, like, you can tell there's heart put into these games, and they all kind of have nostalgia to them, but at the same time, it's like
still a new game.
Yeah, it feels
Still
like a
new.
whole new. It feels like a whole new thing. It's kind of like whenever Pokemon's ran forever,
Right.
and you may never get the days of Misty and Brock back, but then like you meet a new cast of characters with Ash, and you're like, you know what, this is pretty good too. And it's like, oh well, this is this whole brand new thing for me to dump my life into for a while. Like that's pretty much what this is. I wish they would do that with Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper.
I
But
do too.
both of the companies that made those games claim it's too hard to not not make a game to its full potential on next gen consoles. When I don't understand why they couldn't just do like Ratchet and Clank has and just run with the same formula, because the same formula is what we want. We don't want a whole new game that does everything that a new generation console can do. I don't want a photorealistic Jak and Daxter running around looking like Uncharted.
Right.
I
don't
want
either.
I want Jak and Daxter, damn it.
Yeah, I think it'd be really, really cool. It'd be really cool to experience that again. You
And
know,
it's
something new.
Yeah, and I was watching a video with the people who made Sly Cooper, and like the latest Sly Cooper game that came out wasn't made by the original people. It was overseen for them, but they didn't make it. And going to the PS3, they were like, "Oh no, it'll be too hard to make a game on like next gen consoles." And then they finally were like, "You know what? Let's try it." And they handed it over to like this company. I can't remember who it was, but they handed it over to this company, and they were like, "Okay, we're just gonna copy the games y'all already made, but you know, just make it new." And now, for some reason, the company that made Sly Cooper is saying the exact same thing over again. They're like, it'd be too hard to do it on a next-gen console, so there's probably not going to be a Sly Cooper on PS4. It's like, how? This last company, it took them a year, and they made one for the PS3, and it was great. Like, you people just don't want to do it. That's what it is. Just come out and say you don't want to do it.
I think there's money there if they would.
There easily is, because all of the people who were like 90s kids who, as they were growing up, got introduced to Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, and Sly Cooper at the same time, they all liked all three of those games. Ratchet and Clank still sells very well, and it's the only one that kept being made. If Naughty Dog would get their heads out of Uncharted's ass and start making Jak and Daxter, they could make way more money off Jak and Daxter than Uncharted. I don't care what anybody says. Uncharted is a very basic idea. It's something that's not that special. I've never been the biggest fan of it, especially when I see what the company that made it used to make.
Well,
Because
I wonder. You talking about Naughty Dog? I wonder what kind of compensation they got for the new Crash Bandicoot.
I have no idea.
Like, because you know they didn't make it, but
Yeah.
somebody did. There had to be some rights. You know.
Well, they had to have like handed the project over to somebody and been
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
"Here,
They had
you
to
can
make
do
money
this."
somewhere from it.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
just
that's like what the people did with Sly Cooper. The guys who made Sly Cooper, they handed it over to another company and were like, "Here you go. Like, if it looks good, we'll put it out."
Right.
And sure enough, it came out and it was perfect. And it kept the story going. It was cool. But for some reason, these companies don't want to do that. They'd rather keep pumping out stupid Uncharted games. To me, the story and stuff of Uncharted does not hold a candle to Jak and Daxter. And all it is just some dude who's
Just
a thief.
doesn't hold a candle.
Yeah, it's just some dude who's a thief. And that's pretty much it. It's like the idea of Sly Cooper if Sly Cooper wasn't a cool raccoon. So when you get this huge, like, diverse world of Jak and Daxter, and then you're like, you know what, we're not going to make this anymore, so we can make Uncharted. Why? We have Tomb Raider. Leave us with Tomb Raider. That's the closest thing to Uncharted we need.
Hey, Blake.
Yeah.
This is weird and off topic, but I just saw it. Best Buy has a Logitech G1910 RGB mechanical gaming keyboard for $84 right now.
Really?
It's a $180 keyboard for $85.
If I didn't need to buy an external hard drive so I don't lose my entire life, I probably would get that.
But mechanical.
But
and
mine already makes noises.
it also connects to your phone, Blake.
Don't care.
But anyway, I think this has been a pretty good one. And we're about at our time limit. And plus, I got some food downstairs getting cold. You know what I'm saying, my dude?
And
But
we gotta go finish that one video too.
yeah, and we got to finish the meat video and everything. Just keep an eye out for that in the next couple of days. It'll be out. But we really appreciate for anybody who's listened today. And this has been episode 3 of The Red Drink. And thanks for listening.
Bye.